Shalom. Welcome to Supporting Yah's Cornerstone. My name is Heshra. Today's video is on a topic that I needed to have included in the last video I made called marriage frustration as one of the causes of adultery sometimes. And so I forgot to include the importance of praying for your husband. In that video, I talked about sometimes character flaws being a frustration, or maybe some of the decisions he's making being a frustration. But an important part of coming to a resolution and helping the situation sometimes is to pray for your husband. And so I forgot to include that in that particular video. So that's why I decided to do this separate one concerning that. And so in this video, I just want to encourage you that if you are married, to pray for your husband. Sometimes when we're frustrated with people close to us, we can forget. It doesn't always come to mind to pray for them in their difficulties, in their character flaws and things, because we're so frustrated and so close to it, and it's affecting us in so many ways that sometimes we'll lose sight to do that on their behalf. And especially sometimes for our husbands, sometimes we might not think to pray to the Creator for any decisions he might be having to make, or any decisions we're concerned about, or any character flaws we may see that may be affecting our lives. And I just want to talk about or mention the importance of praying for your husband, whether things are going bad in his life or whether things are going good in your life and his. That it's important to pray for him through good times and bad. Through good times, it's important that it can be helpful, I'll say, to pray for him to help maintain his good decision making, the character flaws that he's overcome, that he can maintain that, and that he can be able to fight in a righteous way whatever challenges he might meet each day, whether it's temptations or just whatever the situations might be throughout the day and throughout the month, throughout the years, So it's important to pray for your husband through good times and through bad times. And the next tip kind of relates back to that. Don't wait for something to happen. And when I look down, I'm just looking down at my notes. Don't wait for something to happen or difficult situations to start to pray. Because a lot of times that's when we'll think to pray, is when something is happening. But it's so important not to wait. You can present your spouse's name before Yah before anything happens, that he will help him to maintain a righteous conduct, righteous character, work to make righteous decisions, etc. You can do that before anything happens. And in doing that, it's not saying that something will happen. It's just asking the Creator to be in the forefront of his mind, and that he can add to his strength to make good decisions, to maintain character, and everything, in that he will be with him and to work with him and add to his strength in following a righteous path. So we don't have to wait till something is happening, and something bad does not have to be happening for us to do that. Most of us, we can kind of relate it back to changing the oil in your car or maintaining car maintenance. You don't want to wait till the motor goes out of your car to check the oil, see if you need to change your oil. Most of the time we do these things before anything happens, because our goal is that nothing happens to the car and that we can ride in our car for years to come and have a good experience. Well, it can be the same thing in the lives of our husbands. Like praying for him is like pre-maintenance on, you know, on the things I just spoke about before, his decisions, his character. It's just like pre-maintenance to say to Yah, please continue to give my husband strength to make good decisions, to continue to maintain righteous character, that he can continue to have strength in the things that, in the places in his life where he might have been weak, etc., etc. So now I'm going to talk about the basics of praying for your spouse. So you want to, when I pray for my husband, I kind of, a lot of times, I break the prayer down into, and so I'll give an example. You want to pray for him in every title that he holds, for example. Your husband is, of course, a man, a husband. If you have children, a father. He's a brother, for example, to other Israelites seeking Yah. All these different titles that he may hold, like I will pray for my husband in each one of those things, that he can continue to develop into a righteous husband, continue to develop and maintain righteousness as a father, as a brother, to others in the Hebrew Israelite way of life, or in just whatever aspects, as a son, you can pray for your husband that way too, that he can be righteous as a son, to his mother and father. So it can be important to just pray for him in each title that he holds, because sometimes we'll do good in one area, or your husband may do good in one area, but maybe he needs a little maintenance or uplifting in another area, And so sometimes we even find that in our own lives. Maybe I'm a good mother, but maybe I need some maintenance or some help in being a better sister to other women, or maybe I need a little help in being, vice versa, a better mother, for example. So that's what prayer does when you break it down into the titles, praying for your husband and the titles, different titles he may hold. So if he's weak in any one of those things, or need continued strength in any one of those things, that you've covered that through presenting that before the Creator, that he can get added strength and help in that. The second thing is praying for any specific character flaws. And so that's something I've done over the years. We all have character flaws. Sometimes our husbands have character flaws. And so it can become important to pray specifically for that particular, whatever particular character flaw that is being presented at the time. Because when Yah, I found over the years, is dealing with us, a lot of times every character flaw doesn't always display itself at one time, and so that's why I'm saying it in that way. Whatever character flaw is being displayed or being highlighted at that moment in time. So let's say, for example, your husband has some laziness, anger issues, just different things. Whatever, maybe he's high-minded, for example, stubbornness in the wrong way, So when you pray for him and you see this issue, then you want to go ahead and present that to the Creator, that he would add strength to him to overcome whatever the character flaw is. Now, this is what I want to say about that. When it comes to praying for your husband concerning these things, it's possible that the situation may get worse before it gets better. Maybe it appears that his laziness is worse, or his anger is worse, or whatever it is worse. Or maybe more situations are happening to bring that pull on that character flaw. Or maybe certain things, for example, a lot of times if a person's character flaw is laziness, what will happen is situations in their personal life, even with their finances, will become more difficult, I found. Because why? Well, if the creator makes their road easy, then that's just going to kind of feed into the laziness. And so the harder it gets, they have to make a choice. Well, I'm going to sit here and I could be doing more, but I'm not, or I can go ahead and overcome, and I see where I need to be doing physically more or mentally more, and I go ahead and do it, which is Yah's goal, the creator's goal, when he's dealing with people on things that way, from what I've seen over the years. Same thing with an anger problem, for example. More and more situations may occur where you could get extremely angry, or you can handle the situation. You can get angry and not sin against Yah and deal with the situation in the right way. Whereas before, you would have gotten angry, blown up, maybe cursed someone out or something like that. Well, as situations continue to occur, and your husband remembers Yah's word concerning certain things, that then he'll handle those situations. He's presented with the opportunity to practice handling those situations in a better way. So a lot of times, which kind of I'll backtrack back a little bit, a lot of times Yah helps us correct things in our character through situations. So that's why I'm saying, as you pray for your husband concerning character flaws and whatever else areas he may need some work in, then you may see those situations get better before they get worse, because it's possible that Yah is allowing some things to happen to help pull on his mind that he needs to change whatever it is, and giving him the opportunities to do that. So that does take patience and things on your part when that's happening. Next, pray for his strength in any given situation, for example, because we all meet a lot of challenges. Our husbands meet a lot of challenges throughout the week, throughout the months, throughout the year. So you want to pray to Yah for his strength through any difficult situations that might come up, or any situation that might come up that might be challenging to his righteous thought process he's trying to develop, or the righteousness in his life that he's continuing to try to develop. There's a lot of things that test our devotion to what's right, what we're learning. And so our husband had these same situations also that's presented to them throughout the week, throughout the month, and throughout the year. So just pray for his strength in any given situation, that whatever comes up or whatever temptations present themselves, that he can handle himself in a righteous way according to what Yah would want. Next, ask Yah to help him make the right decisions for himself and for his family. That's something that I have done over the years. I know sometimes my husband has various decisions to make, or various things he's thinking about, and sometimes I will pray to Yah that Yah will give him the answers that's the right answers according to what is best that he would want. a lot of times it may seem strange that like I don't put my answers into it per se, and I pray for it in that way that Yah's answer, because I know that's going to be the best answer for our whole family, for him, for me, for us, So, and I know sometimes looking into a situation, I may see it one way, but y'all may see where, okay, this will work out if it's done this way or if it's done that way. And then realizing that sometimes my husband may be trying to make decisions on things that I may not know about. So that's why sometimes overall, I just ask that he gives him the answers that he needs on whatever that might be, that y'all will bless him with the answer he would want him to have, because I know that'll be the best decision, and that he would lead and guide, in that way y'all would be leading and guiding his decisions. And so that's important can be important thing for us to pray when we're praying for our husbands also. In the beginning, and when I'm looking down, I'm just looking down at my notes. In the beginning of my marriage, I didn't have this understanding. I didn't pray for my husband regularly, but it was many years ago. I remember we were having some difficult times, some difficult moments. And at the time, it really wasn't a lot of people I could go to talk to about them. And I was just kind of stumped on what to do. What some of you have already probably found is that on the other side of life, when we were living in secular society, or at least I can speak for myself, you might would talk to your coworker about your marital problems or about something, or you might would talk about to this person, that person about different things concerning your marriage or issues your husband might be having, and they'll give you whatever advice they give you. But when you come into Yah and you more and more you gain understanding, you know that you don't just need anybody's advice, especially if they're not living for Yah, because they may give you advice that's against the Creator, and then you have a double issue of where you have whatever this problem is, and then you sinned against Yah too. Or sometimes your spouse may be having difficulties don't have anything to do with you, but you don't know how to help them, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, though, that's kind of the point I was at one point. And I was in the library one day, and I was just looking around, and I don't remember looking around for any book in particular that day. And this has been many years ago. So I've been married to my husband since 1998. I think we got married about July or August or something like that of 1998. So this has been a while ago. But anyway, so I was in the library that day, and I ran across this book. And just remember, I wasn't looking for any book in particular. I just remember being in the library that day. I used to go to the library pretty regularly, and I would take my children also. So, but anyway, this particular day, I ran across this book, The Power of a Praying Wife. It's by a lady named, and I'm probably messing her name up, Stormy Orderman. I ran across this book, and I just thought, I think I'll check this book out and read it. Now, yes, Miss Stormy Orderman practices Christianity. Yes, she is a European, okay? But over the years, I've read books by various people. I am very careful about what I read, though. But I was in the library that day, and I did run across this book, and I did check it out. This has been many years ago. But I feel like I I I feel like now that the creator just brought that book to my attention, I thank him that I saw that book that day, because it just gave me a lot of insight, and it brought my mind into the mode of I need to be praying for my husband and I need to be praying for him on a regular basis. Did everything change right away that needed to at that time? No. But it's something about having more understanding and more clarity or understanding of a situation that just brings you peace, a peace of mind, even as you continue to go through the struggle of it. And that's what that book gave me, just more clarity and understanding what I could do. Number one, what I automatically knew to do, I felt like it was a test for me too, because of what I was learning too. It's like before I started living for Yah, I was not humble to a man. I wasn't concerned about necessarily being respectful. I had a different mindset when it came to relationships and men. And so it was, I feel like, I felt like at the time, what I was being presented with was, okay, is you're practicing being submissive and humble when things are going your way, but are you going to be submissive and humble when things are not going your way? It's like it's easy to perform righteousness when everything going how you want it, but will you perform righteous behavior and be the wife you need to be when things are not going your way, when your husband is not doing everything how you think it ought to go, or this or that? Will you maintain it then? So I felt it was a challenge and test for both of us. And so the Creator blessed me to realize early on that the main thing I need to be doing is what I, as a wife, was supposed to be doing. That's the main thing I need to do, because you cannot control another adult person. They have their own mind, their own, things going on sometimes. And so that's one of the things that went through my thought process at the time. And so that's one thing I focused on too, is not so much completely day in, day out focusing on what my husband was going through, but focusing on too what I was supposed to be doing. Because I could not force him into certain changes or force this and that. I realized early on that I could not do that. And so, but this book presented me with, and I thank the Creator that it presented me with something I definitely could do, which was pray for him, which I started to do more regular, and I continue on to this day. And everything I told you earlier has been my experience with praying for my husband. Sometimes when I was praying for him on certain character flaws and things, sometimes things took a dip before it got better. And that used to be perplexing to me sometimes, that, oh my God, it seems like the more I pray, the worse it's getting. But in a certain area or something, but I would continue to pray, and then I saw what the Creator was doing, and even in my own life, when I would pray for my own character flaws, I saw things in myself would get worse before it even got better. It's like I'm working on this character flaw, and then this situation started to happen that normally I would deal with this way, but I'm supposed to be working on this character flaw, so now I got to deal with it this way. Well, it was the same way with my husband. Situations started to happen where it presented him with the challenge of overcoming whatever flaw, whatever that was being presented at that time. It presented him with the challenge of overcoming. Another thought that came to me at that time was that my husband making a bad decision did not change his position in the family. It did not change his leadership role either, especially in the eyesight of Yah. That as the head of the home, it doesn't guarantee that I'm going to agree with every decision he makes or that every decision is going to be a good decision. Sometimes I realized he was going to feel like he was making the best decision and that he was going to have to follow through with it and see that, okay, this is not a good decision. But me having to understand that sometimes that's going to happen. But a brother who's truly seeking righteousness, he's going to see it sometimes after, but then he's going to change it and take that seriously because number one, he want to be right by Yah. Number two, he loves his family and he wants the best for them. And so that's another thing I had to realize at that moment, that my husband making a bad decision does not change his position in the family. It does not give me a right to be disrespectful. It does not give me the right to get out of line with him or the Creator. So that's another thought that came to mind, or another struggle through those times, that it was a test for me also. Was I going to continue to be the woman that Yah was teaching me about being? Or was I just going to do that when everything was going well? Or was I going to do that when things weren't going well? It's kind of like, it's easy to do right when everything's going right, how you think it should go. But then the test is going to be when it's not. And you still need to perform in a righteous way. Needless to say, The Power of a Praying Wife, that book, it just really brought to my attention, and I thank y'all again that I need to pray for my husband regularly. Well-written book, and I gained a lot of insight from it. So hopefully in the future, there'll be a sister maybe that lives for Yah that will write a book kind of like this. You know, hopefully our writers will be blessed to be able to, the writers within our nation, or even a person that may not be a writer, but who have had these experiences, will put it into words so we can have books like these written from a Yah perspective. But anyway, the book was really helpful to me, and I thank Yah. He blessed me to come across it. And it definitely came across my path at a time I felt like I really needed it. I hope this video has been helpful. I forgot to mention this very important thing in the last video, like I said before, in the marriage frustration video. But it's so important to remember to pray for your husbands. I'm going through all of these different things kind of slowly, especially concerning adultery and its causes. And I don't want to make the videos too long, but I want to make sure that I'm giving information as I was blessed to get it through Yah's word, through through my moray, and through the blessing of having my husband and somebody definitely married to someone who's sincere about trying to live right, and through the blessing of just over the years of having these experiences and getting to know Yah for myself also. And I thank him so much for blessing me, to giving me understanding through the years, more understanding than what I started with. And my hope is to share that with you so that it can be a help to you. It's hard when you have to kind of sometimes sit in confusion, because there's having Sabbath class and having Bible class or whatever, and then living your life day to day, and situations are coming up day to day. Sometimes we don't always know steps when it comes to applying what we're learning. Or sometimes we don't know exactly, like you may be in Sabbath class and learn you shouldn't eat pork. But then there's the step of how do I season my food, because I'm used to seasoning it with pork. And that's where somebody who knows about that, who've had that experience already, will come in and say, okay, you learned about this in Sabbath class. Here's how to put that to work. And so that's what I'm trying to do in a certain kind of way. I've learned, God blessed me to learn so much over the years, and not through just me myself, but through the different avenues I said. I've been truly blessed by the Creator to have a sincere moray in my life, sincere husband, and just so many different avenues the Creator brought to me to gain righteous understanding that didn't take me away from Him, and I'm thankful for that. But my goal is to share that with you, and hopefully it can be by me sharing my experience, by me sharing what I've learned, that it can be a help to you early on. And the goal is that even when we have problems, that we maintain our relationship with Yah. That more women come into this way of life and stay in this way of life, no matter what is going on. Our dynamics may need to change sometimes, our situations may change sometimes, but that we can maintain our relationship with the Creator, and that we can handle things in a righteous way throughout. Okay? And then Yah can come to our aid, and he can bless us, and He can be there for us, because we're maintaining that relationship with Him in a righteous way, by dealing righteously daily, by making righteous decisions, daily and throughout our life. So I hope this has been helpful. You can follow this Supporting Yah's Cornerstone on Instagram. I'm no longer on Facebook at this time. And I'm not sure I'll be back Supporting Yah's Cornerstone. I'll be back there or not. But I am on Instagram. You can contact me also through the email yahscornerstone@gmail.com. yahscornerstone@gmail.com. Also, you can leave a comment in the comment section of this video also. Thank you so much for your time. Shalom, shalom.